Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, a channel where I try and showcase the fun that could be had in the world of variant Sudoku. And today I'm doing another puzzle by SennyK. I did a puzzle by SennyK, which was a dynamic fog puzzle last week, and I didn't like it very much because the dynamic fog was designed to not clear when digits were entered. And there were a lot of comments on that video. A lot of people felt like me and didn't like it. And a lot of people said, but that's just like a normal Sudoku grid. To which my response is not really, because with a normal Sudoku grid, if you've got the rest of the grid to be able to use to confirm your logic. But with a fog puzzle, if the fog isn't clearing when you've got digits in, you don't know if there is information that should have been revealed that wasn't because you've made an error, which is the information you need to be able to prove that you've made an error. So with a normal puzzle, you can keep solving based on information you've got and go, wait a minute, this isn't working. But with a fog puzzle, and if you make a mistake and the fog doesn't clear to give you that confirmation and you just run out of information that you can't see, you don't know if you've made a mistake, and therefore you have just will never see the clue, or if it's correct and you're just missing the logic. There is no way of being able to say, okay, I'll look elsewhere or something. So when it's kind of like, reading a book or trying to figure out what might be weird in a book when some of the pages are ripped out. If the information you need is in those pages, you're never going to get that information you need. SennyK seemed to be very understanding about it and wanted to send this puzzle through, which also uses dynamic fog, but doesn't have, I'm hoping, I haven't checked, but has I'm hoping the fog will clear. But yeah, it was really nice to get the email from SennyK and the comments from SennyK basically understanding the perspective, but it was part of the theme of the puzzle, which I kind of got. But it's like, it just rubbed me and a lot of the other people the wrong way. And that's fine. I mean, criticism is what we do. Not everyone is going to like everything. There are constraints I like more than others. But this is Find It All by SennyK. And I'm really looking forward to giving this one a try. I don't really have anything to call out except you can try the puzzle on the link below. So let's go through the rules. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Dynamic fog. The grid is partially covered in fog. Entering correct digits may clear fog somewhere in the grid. No guessing is required. So the rules are the same. So I'm hoping this clears. But what it means is if I was to enter this digit, for example, it may clear fog over here. Now, I'm hoping it will also clear itself, because that was the problem I had with the last puzzle. If it doesn't, I'm not releasing this puzzle. I'm literally going to stop solving if I enter a digit and I'm sure it's correct and it doesn't clear the fog. Kropki dots, or is it Kropki pairs? I'm not sure. Digits in cells joined by a white dot are consecutive. Digits in cells joined by a black dot are in a 1-to-2 ratio, i.e. one digit is double the other. I think it's Kropki pairs. It doesn't say all dots are given, or all dots, not all dots are given. So because it doesn't state that all dots are given, I'm assuming this is Kropki pairs, which means it's perfectly fine, for example, for those digits to be either consecutive or in a 2-to-1 ratio. German Whisper, more and more being called Whisper 5, but whatever, it's the same thing. Neighbouring or adjacent digits along a green line have a difference of at least 5. So those two digits have a difference of at least 5 as to those two digits. Killer cages, digits in a cage sum to the total given, so those 3 digits sum to 21. X, digits in cells joined by an X sum to 10. Not all X's are given. Oh, this makes me worry about Kropki. Because it's, for example, if these two cells were connected by an X, then it would state that those two digits sum to 10. But with the Kropki, it hasn't been stated. So I'm wondering whether the Kropki is supposed to indicate that all are given, because it's stated that not all X's are given, but it has, I'm going to assume that that's just a copy-paste issue. And it is Kropki pairs, and it's also X pairs. Okay, numbered rooms. A clue outside the grid indicates the digit which has to be placed in the nth cell in the corresponding direction, where n is the digit placed in the first cell in that direction. So let's say this digit is revealed as a 4, and this digit is revealed as a 5. It would mean the 5th cell in this direction is a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. this would be a 4. Now, if this digit was revealed as a 6 and this was a 5, it would mean this is, and this was a 4, for example, then it would indicate that the 4th digit is a 6. And that's how this works. It can be a little bit weird till you get used to it. Entropic, any sequence of 3 adjacent digits along a peach line. This weird usage of adjacent and everything, because so if we draw in something that's going to be a bit of a peach line, this isn't peach, but say this was the line. These are 3, I'm not sure about adjacent because those 2 cells aren't adjacent, but these 3 cells would be connected, and one must be low, one must be middle, one must be high. These 3 cells are connected, directly connected, and those must be, one must contain one low, one mid, high, one high. Low being 1, 2, 3, mid being 4, 5, 6, high being 7, 8, 9. I think we normally say any set of 3 consecutive, I don't know what we use actually. Maybe adjacent is the word we use. I don't remember. Did a Renban, any digits along a purple line form a set of consecutive digits in any order? And again, it's not stating non-repeating, which I think is what the intention here. But if this was a Renban line, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, but that could be in any order. Like if we swap the 2 and the 3 here, that would be fine. Because as long as you take the digits, if you took the digits off and sorted them, they were a run of digits, that's what you're after. It doesn't state non-repeating in the rule, but the standard Renban rules does mean non-repeating. And some people could say, but wait a minute, this wouldn't be a this wouldn't be a consecutive set. In some statistical mathematics, apparently that is a consecutive set. So because if you grab any set of digits, it's weird. I don't know. It's something that was provided to me, and yeah, whatever. And then arrows, digits along an arrow, sum to the number in the attached 1 cell circle. Okay, so if there was an arrow that went through these 3 cells and there was a circle here, it would mean the sum of those 3 cells gets put into the circle. But it does mean that the sum of the digits on the arrow, the sum of the digits on the arrow must be a single digit sum. There is nothing in this about lines not being able to overlap or constraints not being able to overlap. So, weird one. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So the obvious place to start is box 9, where we've got a lot of information. 5 must go in one of those 2 cells because you can never put a 5 on a Whisper 5 or a German Whisper line because of the 5 difference. In order to get a 5 difference, you're either adding 5 or more or subtracting 5 or more. If you add 5 or more to 5, you're 10 or higher, subtracting 0 or lower. So they wouldn't be, none of the neighbors would be in Sudoku digits. That means every digit is either below 5 or above 5. 2 digits below 5 can't go next to each other. The maximum difference is 3. 2 digits above 5 can't go next to each other. The maximum difference is 3. So you're always alternating from below 5 to above 5, from below 5 to above 5. So if this was below 5, this would be above 5, if this would be below, and it could be the other way around. But what you end up is you're going alternating along this line. And right, which means this is high. And the reason for that is the nature of a black dot. A black dot will always contain a low digit and its even double, because 1 can double to 2, 2 to 4, 3 to 6, 4 to 8. If you stay in the range of high digits, 5 would need to double to 10 and you've broken. So you must always have a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4 on a black dot. You can actually never put a 5, 7, or 9 on a black dot because they high odd digits. You can't halve them and you can't double them. Halving would not be an integer. Double is outside the range of Sudoku digits. But because there's a low on each of these dots, if these were low, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits below 5 in the row, and that doesn't work. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can actually go further than that, but let's remove the coloring. So we can't put 6 in either of those because you can't add to 6, you have to subtract. If you subtract 5 from 6, the only possible partner is 1. So if this is a 6, both of those are 1. If this is a 6, both of those are 1. And if this is a 6, both of those are 1. So this is actually a 7, 8, 9 triple, and this is a 5, 6 pair. So if these are 7, 8, 9, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. which is interesting. Well, there's no 5 or 6 in this 21 cage. I'm not sure if that's what I should be looking at. But well, there must be an odd and an even on here, an odd and an even on here, and an odd and an even on here. So where does the 1 go? The 1 must go at one end, because if I put a 1 here, it's partnered by both doubling and consecutive as 2. Same here. These would both need to be 2. Here, these would both need to be 2. So the 1 is at one end, and that means the one next to it is a 2, which means the one next to it is a 4, because you can't go back to a 1. Now, 4 would then be consecutive with 3 or 5, but I can't put 5 on a black dot. So it would 4 and 3 are what go in here. The 3 is consecutive with the 6. So this is 2 and 6, and that leaves the 1 and the 5 at the end. That's interesting. I like that. So it's got to be this 21 cage. No, there's more I can do. I can't put 4 in either of those, because a 4 in those, you have to add, its only partner is 5, because 4 plus 5 is 9. So if there was a 4 there, both of those would need to be 9. 4 there, both of those would be 9. 4 is in one of those two, and if a 4 is here, that's a 9. If a 4 is here, that's a 9. So that can never be a 9. So this now must have a 9 in it, because if it doesn't, the maximum it could be would be 6, 7, 8, and 6, 7, 8 is 21. So it would have to be 6 plus 7 plus 8 is 21. So it would have to be 6, 7, 8, but that would break that cell. I couldn't do it because there's no 6 available. But now I've got a 9 in here, and then I need 2 digits that sum to 13. No, 12. 21 minus 9 is 12. I can't use 9, 3. I could use 8, 4. I can't use 7, 5, and then 6, 6 is not possible. So this is 3, 8, 9. Sorry, 4. That's wrong. 9, and then I need 2 digits that sum to 12. Right, it can't be 9, 3. It's 8. It can be 8, 4, 9, 8, 4. It can't be 7, 5 because there's no 5 available. So this is 4, 8, 9, which means this is the 7. Which reveals that. But it means there's no 7 in any of those, which I don't know gets me much further. It does give me this triple as 1, 2, 3, because I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are 1, 2, 3. But this X clue, how is that going to resolve? If it's 1, 9, so how does this go? This line runs in a particular way. 1, so it goes one direction or another. It goes 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, 5. And it could go the other way. So what could this be? If this was 1, 2, 4, this couldn't be 1, 9. It couldn't be 2, 8. It could be 3, 7. It couldn't be 4, 6. So if this goes this way, this is 3, 7. If it goes the other way, this would be a 5. This would be a 6. So it couldn't be 4, 6. This can never be 4, 6. This would be a 3. So this couldn't be 3, 7. This would be 1, 9 or 2, 8. That's not helping me, is it? So all I know is that's not 4, 6. Neither of these can be 3, because if this is 7 and 3 only have a 4 difference. That's a 1, 2 pair, which takes 1, 2 out of there. That does restrict this, because now this can't be 3, 7. If this went 1, 2, 4, this couldn't be 1, 9, it couldn't be 2, 8, it couldn't be 4, 6, and it couldn't be 3, 7. So this is 5. 5, 1. 1 goes with 2, which makes this 6. 6 is in a 2-to-1 relationship with 3, and that's the 4. Bingo. And this is now Well, it's either 192, it could be 19 or 28. It can't be 37 or 46. But that's cool. But now we get this 6 cage. Minimum 3 digits are 1, 2, and 3. Now, this can't be a 1. Because if this is a 1, the numbered rooms clue here would be broken. Because we putting a 1 here would say we're putting a 7 in the first cell, and this would have to be a 7 as well as a 1. So this isn't the 1. The 1 is in one of those two. The 1 is looking up saying that's not the 1, that's the 1. And the 7 is in one of those two because the 7 is in the second or third position. But that has revealed this. Now, let's look at this entropic line. These are all the low digits on the entropic line. But we know every set of 3 along here has a low, a mid, and a high. Now, I don't know what that one is, and I don't know what that one is. But if this, whichever one it is, say purple is either low or mid or high, and orange is either mid or high. But whatever purple is in this run, I've got orange and low. So this has to be purple. Then this run is complete. It's got one of each. This run is missing orange. This run is missing purple, and this run is missing orange. Now, this is saying where the 5 goes. This if these were right, this has to be middle, because if these were high digits, they'd be from 7, 8, 9. But the 7 is up here because of this 2, 3 numbered room. So these would have to be 8, 9, and that would mean I've got 3 cells in the column 8, 9. So these are 4, 5, 6, and these are 7, 8, 9. And that's done all of the colouring in this box. Great. It means 5 is over in one of these two because the 5 is in position 7, 8, or 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can't be in 9, so this isn't a 9. Okay, doing a dodgy record during my work day. Don't do it too often, but it was a quiet day where I've got computers processing stuff in the background and I'm waiting for results. And I thought, let's do this. And of course, someone calls me. So I had to go take that work call. So what had I just done? So I'd gotten the colouring on this. All right, and the 5 numbered rooms clue had to go in 7, 8, or 9. Oh, and it can't go in 9, so this is not a 9. It's a 7 or an 8. Okay. So what can this X be? No, this is a 1 or a 2. Because 1, 2 can't go in any of those, and it's not in any of those. And I can't put both 1 and 2 on this, or this would sum to 3, not 10. So that's a 1 or a 2. That cell might be restricted because this is a 5 or a 6 because it can't be 1, 2, 3. It can't be 7, 8, 9. Well, this can't be a 7 because the 7 out of that 7, 8, 9 triple must be in one of those two. So that can't be a 7. So we've got an 8, 9 pair in this column. Is there a way of resolving this? Don't know. 4 is up here. 3 is down here. What the heck am I supposed to do now? Okay, so this line does that and that. And we're still doing the alternating between high-low because this is a whisper 5 or a German whisper line. If that's a 4, that's a 9 because if this is low, it can't be 1, 2, or 3, so it'd have to be 4, and the only partner for 4 would be 9. So can this be 4, 9? don't see why not. I've got a lot of freedom here and here for 4s and 9s, and that doesn't provide much restriction. If this was horizontal, this would provide some restriction to 4, 9. But it's not doing that. Oh, but I can't put 5 in any of those, and this 5 is taking 5 out of those. So 5 is in one of those 3. So that's not the 5, that's the 5. So this line, I don't know what that's doing. Well, this isn't a 5. Oh, it tells me what that is. That's an 8. So this is a 9, this is a 7, and now this is an 8, and this is a 9, and 4 can't go next to 8. That's a 3, that's a 4. Which means this isn't a 4. That is a 5, 6 pair. So these, oh, look at that. That's glorious. These are from 1, 2, 3. Because I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are from 1, 2, 3. So that's a 1, 2, 3 triple, but in the column, the 3 must be in one of those 2. So that's the 2, that's the 3, and there's no 2 in those. That's a 1, 3 pair. How did that not reveal anything? So what can these be now? Well, the 2 looks down, making that the 1 and that the 2. What are these? Well, these are 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now I'm scared. How am I supposed to resolve this? Does that put a restriction on 4, 9? Oh, the 2 here means this is the 7. Had to use that numbers room clue. So this is a run of digits. This is a run of digits. So I now know that's the extent of the German whispers line. So get rid of your extra colouring because it normally means that things don't go well. This is a run of digits. 4, 5, 6. Well, can I put 5? Maybe. 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. So, well, it can't be 4, 5, 6. I can't put 4 on the line because if I put 4 on this line, it'd be 4, 5, 6, which would break that cell. So there's no 4 on this line. It can't be 5, 6, 7. So it can't be 4, 5, 6, and it can't be 5, 6, 7. So there's no 4 or 5 on this line. So this is from 6, 7, 8, 9. And it must contain a 7 or 8. If I put a 4 on this line, I can't go down, so it's 4, 5, 6, and that's broken. So there's no 4. If I put a 5 on this line, I can't go down because I need a 4, and that's broken because it's 4, 5, 6. So it's 5, 6, 7, and that's broken. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, and must contain a 7 and an 8. There's no 8 there. So this is a high digit. So this is a low digit, 1, 2, 3. It can't be 4, or both of those would need to be 9. This is a high digit, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, neither of these can be 6 because of that. That's a 7, 8, 9. Four is there or there. Where's 5 in this row? 5 is in one of those 2 cells, so it's not in any of those. It can't go on this line, and it's not 1, 3. This is the 5. This is the 6, which means this is the 4, this is the 5, this is the 6. Ooh. If this is 7, 8, 9, that's 4, and that's 6. If this is 6, 7, 8, This is 4 or 9. Yeah, okay. This arrow, though, minimum of those two digits is 2 and 4. So the maximum, considering it's said in the arrow rules that the digits along an arrow sum to the number in the attached one cell circle. So the minimum here is 2 and 4, which is 6. So the maximum this could be is 3, and it can't be 3 because of that. So that's a 1-2 pair. That's if the circle is here, we could have 6 plus 1 or 2. It couldn't be higher than 3 because we'd have minimum 6 here plus higher than 3, which would mean the single cell circle would have to be higher than. But it does mean the minimum that the circle could be, but I don't know where the circle is. Because I could put 1, 2 and then get to the circle. Like if it continued, say, if this was part of the arrow, could I go 1, 2 with 2, 4 and have the arrow in one of, well, any of those really? In fact, it'd have to be one of those 3. Can I do that? I don't see why not. But if the arrow's here, it can't be a 9. But that's... There must be a 2 in one of these, mustn't there? Because otherwise, without a 2, the minimum would be 4, 5, and this would have to be a 0. There's a 2 in one of those 2, and that 2 is looking up saying it's not there. That's a 2. Wait, that 5 was already clear. Yes, it was. So it just cleared this and that cell for some reason. So this is a minimum of 4, but its maximum is 6. Because 6 and 2 would be 8, with that being a minimum of 1. So that X was then cleared. Well, it could be 1, 9 with 1, 9. It can't be 2, 8 because I can't put 2 in any of them. It can't be 3, 7. If it's 4, 6, it's 6 there and 4 there. So they're the only possibilities I can see. And the end of the arrow is 7, 8, or 9, but I don't know where that is. If this was the end of the arrow, it would be a 7 or an 8. This would be a 7, 8, 9 triple with the 9 up here. Two is in here. Oh, this is hard. Hang on. If this is 6, 7, 8. Oh, this is a 4, 9 pair. And if this is 7, 8, 9, we've got 6 and 4. No, that's okay. Is this column? Wow, this is... So those are all high. If this is 4, 6, oh, hang on. If this is 4, 6, that's a 6. And if this is 1, 9, that's a 9. So this is either a 6 or a 9. Because a 4, 6 here, well, where's the high digit from this? Because it's either a 6 or a 9, which can't go in any of those, and couldn't go in any of those, and it can't go in the arrow. That's a 6 or a 9. So in here, I need to put a 7. So 7 is down here somewhere. 2 is in one of those two digits, or two cells, because 2 can't be in any of these, and that's a 1-2 pair. 1 similarly is over here somewhere. If this is 621, and if this can't be a 6. If this is a 6, the minimum would be 621, and that would have to be a 9, which it can't be. So 6 isn't in any of those or there. If this is 5, this would be 7. This would be 1, 8. And then this would be the 1, 2, and this would be the 8, 9. Because these are from 1, 2, 8, 9. But this still could go 4, 2 with 1, 2. Is there any reason why those can't be 1, 2? With a 9 down here. Oh, wow. Lesson learned. Always send your puzzles through to testing. If this is 7, 8, 9, we've got 4, 6, which would make that 9. And that digit would be that digit. It's just... Because 6 in those two, with that being a 4, if that's a 4, what happens? We get 9, 1, which would make... This has to be the head of the arrow. Oh, that's tricky. If this goes 4, 2 with 1, 2, the 4 here makes this 9, 1, which makes that the 9, which isn't the head of the arrow. So I couldn't do 1, 2 with then the 9 on it. So this is the head of the arrow. However this works, that's the head of the arrow. So the arrow can't go to a 9. So this is a 7 or an 8. And that's a 7, 8, 9 triple, which means this is the 1, 2, and this is the 8, 9. Because we've got 7, 8, 9. So these are all from 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a 3, 4 and is a 4. Because it couldn't be 1, 2, or 3. That's crazy. Now 5, where is the 5 in this row? Now, it can't be here, because if this is a 5, this would then also need to be a 1, because we're saying 5 is in the first position, so we'd have to put 1 in this cell. But we've said 5 is in this cell, so if we put a 1 here, this also has to be a 5, and we get a contradiction. So it can't be 1. it can't be 2 for multiple reasons. If this is a 5, this is a 3. Can't put 5 here, can't put 5 over here. Can't put 5 here, because if 5 is here, this would also have to be a 5. So this is only a 3 or a 6, and it can't be a 6. This is the 3, this is the 5. That arrow trick was really tricky. That means this isn't a 3. The 3 makes this the 1 and this the 3. 3 and 3 can't be in any of those. That's a 7 or an 8. That's a 5. That's a 3, which means this isn't a 3. Nine is in one of those two, so that's not a 9. I feel like this puzzle's turned my brain off. I'm sure you all feel the same. Like the puzzle has turned my brain off. 3 is in one of those two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7, 8, 9. And must contain a 7. This can't be a 7. Oh, yes, it could. 4, 2, 1. Hang on. 2 is in 6 or the 9th position. Sorry, I didn't see this numbered rooms clue open up. 2 can't be in the 9th position. So 2 is in the 6th position. And that's a 2. And that clears the whole grid. But the 6 takes the 6 out of there. That's a 4-9 pair. So there's no 9 on... What did I just do? That's a 4-9 pair. So there's no 9 in any of these. These are 6, 7, 8. That's not a 9. That's the 9. Oh, wait a minute. What just happened? This is correct. I know this is correct because if this was this was a 6 or a 9, and if it was a 9, that would have to be a 2. So that's the 2, and that clears the whole grid. But I've got something wrong up here. Oh, I just got that 6, which means that can't be a 6. It's a 4-9 pair, which takes the 9 out of those. This is 6, 7, 8. I think I removed the wrong thing. Six is in one of those two. And that has been confirmed. That was tricky. And that's all of the numbered rooms clues. So I'm not getting any more. In fact, that's just all of the clues. I'm not getting any more. But the 2 means that this cell is the 1. And if this is a 4, that's a 7. If that's a 5, that's an 8. The 1 there makes that the 2, that the 1, that the 9, which makes this a 7, 8. There is, 7, 8 pair means that's the 9. Right, the taking the 9 off here makes that the 9. That's the thing that confused me before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 7, 8. There's a 7 in one of those two, with those being 4, 7, 8. But that can't be the 7 anymore. So the 7 is in one of those two. No 6 there. Two is in one of those two. The 1 and the 2 makes this the 3 with no 3 here. This is a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Which means that is 4 and 6. Which takes 4 out of both of those, making that the 5. 5, 2, and 1 is 8, making that the 7. And we can take 7 out of those. That's a 6, 8 pair. That's the 2 because of the 1 looking up. So 1 and 1, that can't be a 1. That's the 1. And the 9 makes that the 4, that the 9, and that's not a 9. This is a 4-8 pair. But this is a 6-8 pair, which looks down, making that the 7 and that the 8. This pair, 1, 2, and 7. And the 7 looks across, making that the 2 and that the 7. Looking back, making that the 1 and that the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 8 and 9. And the 8 makes that the 9 and that the 8. This box is missing its 4. This is a triple. 1, 3, 5. The 1 and the 3 already in this column makes it, column 6 makes it the 5. The 1 looks down, making that the 3 and that the 1. The 3 looks down, saying that's not the 3, so that's the 3. So in this row, 5, 6, and 9. So there's a 9 in one of these two. These are 5, 6, and 9 for the row. Well, there's no 5 there. And there's no 5 there. Those two 5s take 5 out of them. That's a 6, 9. That's the 5. That's the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, the two 5s take the 5s out of those. That's the 5. This is a 7, 8. The 8 looks down, making that the 7 and that the 8. The 7 looks up, saying that's not the 7, so that's the 7. Making that the 9 and that the 7. The 6 looks up, making that the 8, that the 6, that the 8. The 8 looks across, making that the 4 and that the 8, making that the 4. These two, well, let's use the 9 to make that the 6 and that the 9. And the final two I need to put in are 6 and 9 again, with the 6 looking up, making that the 9 and that the 6. I hope you have enjoyed the puzzle, and if so, I would appreciate if you would rate my puzzle and leave a comment on Logic Masters. Now, I will be putting the link to Logic Masters Germany, I think it was in the email, in the descriptions, because I always do, because we are a community and I don't want people to only come here for puzzles. There are other channels out there, there are other places to get them. So you should absolutely go hunting for yourself. And if you find a puzzle that you think is good, send it through. Recommendations are always welcome. I do generally need permission from the setter, unless it's someone that I've got permission from, and I have permission from a vast number of setters. But you may notice if you go to some puzzles on Logic Masters Germany, there is comments in there, sometimes hidden, saying, can I please recommend this puzzle? And that's always good. This one, very, very nice. I did struggle a lot. These are tricky. I really like what SennyK is doing with Fog. Now, there were some comments in the last one of people just saying, I don't like Fog puzzles. That's fine. Not everything is for everyone. There are constraints out there I don't like that are incredibly popular. But I try and feature them when I can. You can probably tell what they are by the ones that I don't feature that often, that are incredibly popular. I do try and do some of them. But this one, really, really cool stuff. Did get the brain ticking. The interruption probably didn't help, but you know, that happens. Thank you everyone for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the puzzle. And as always, good luck with your solving.